On the day before New Year's always. And it's always come that day. You could know it when it's coming. I mean, across Mulligan Portage, the dogs used to hear them up there hauling the sleds and hear the other dogs, whatever, making a noise up there. And I can remember the old people going through those doors and saying, they're coming. The Travers is coming. They used to remember hearing that, yeah. Yeah, they used to do it every time, yeah, and they're coming. Yeah.
I often wonder what life will be like 50 years from now. Will hunting, fishing, and trapping even be an option? Will people still carry out our traditional way of life? Or will it just be stories to tell our grandchildren? So much has changed, even in the past 10 years. I remember one time we went out trick-or-treating in the snow, and today we're lucky if we got snow at Christmas. Dad, what do you think of the weather these days?
Yeah, the weather this year now, the weather is the first time people ever saw weather like this. I can't remember weather lasting this long, like mild weather or no snow. Because one time we used to have a lot of snow, like we used to have miles, yes, but it never lasts that long. Probably 3-4 days or a week, and then there's snow and whatever. And when the weather turned cold, it stayed cold for probably a month, and real cold, freezing cold, and you'd have to be old people had half of the time spent getting wood and all that kind of stuff, and couldn't do nothing else hardly because of the cold weather. And the snow was a real lot of snow. The hoses used to be drift up. You said dig people out. Sometimes after a storm, dig down to the doors and get them out of the hoses. And that's what it used one time. The snow and the weather used to be a lot colder, and ice used to be a lot thicker. Ice used to be really, really thick sometimes. No, we don't get no ice at all, I might as well say. So that's a big change.
Not only has our climate affected the way we travel today, it has also affected our traditional and cultural practices such as trapping. Trapping one time was a way of life. It was the only source of income that some families depended on to survive. My father trapped to support his family, leaving home at the age of 13 out into the country for months at a time, day in and day out of hard work just to scrape by. But that was it. That was the way of life, and it had to be done. Dad, can you tell me one of your trapping stories?
First time I went trapping up on the Churchill Rivers, I went up in plane in the fall. Me and one of the boys had dropped off. We had took a canoe with us for paddling around waiting for the freeze up. And we had to get ready to come back. We used to get all our fur ready and take like 40 bundle of flour each on our sleds and just head for home. And we used to be like 2 weeks coming down Churchill River, according to some days you wouldn't be traveling, some more days you go a long ways. Not a long ways because days are short. Kill enough meat to eat on the way along, just enough to, if you're lucky, for the night. And perhaps enough for 2 nights, whatever, but in case you couldn't see nothing next day. After that, you used to have only like no meat for supper some nights, but not very often. You'd cook up a flat jack and cook that up, whatever, and have that, and cook it. If nothing for the dogs, we'd cook one each for the dogs. And then next day, hope for something else, which was most always pretty good luck. But it was hard and hard work, but it didn't seem that hard. When you used to stop for the night, next day it was good for another day, not tired or nothing, and go till you get whatever, beat out or whatever. And I started the next day be same old thing, gone again, day after day after day. Didn't ignore the snow. The snow didn't stop you like with snowshoes. Some days you had to make a track to go so far and come back and get the sleds and walk again. But that's the way you had to go. That's the way you had to travel. We didn't mind doing that. Not only us, but all the rest of them do. We didn't mind doing it. That's the way it was all good. All seemed good anyway. So everyone seemed to have a good time and happy and all that stuff. And of course, they got home. It's getting better though. They're getting a long trip. Got down like you get down to Muskrat Fall up there now, and when they got there, you was go along whatever, just about you'd say you was home then, because it's his home. We call it home anyway. One time I remember eating our last bit of bread last dough cake. We cooked the last bit of flour we had, not one stain of flour left. So that was it. We just made save enough.
Trapping to make a living today is near impossible. A traditional way of life just fading away. Today we often hear stories and legends of long ago, of how different the way of life was back then. The stories we tell of today will one day be the stories of the past, the stories from back in the day.
Oh, what a life in the forests of green. The air is so fresh, so healthy and green. Life is a pleasure on the old trapping line. I know by the stories told